Hello, and welcome to Module 7. We'll explore how to understand the feelings, needs, and values underlying conversations. I'm Monacia Starbear. For decades, I've helped individuals, teams, and organizations learn to use non-polarizing language, and I've seen how it builds bridges and opens doors, even in seemingly impossible situations. This module and the related content in the guide is here to help you care for your own needs as you do this work, while also offering support for relationship building in the context of discussions about prenatal through 3 issues with decision makers. This is the longest module, so please pause, grab a cup of tea and a snack, and get ready to dive in. We'll be here for about 30 minutes together. This approach and my work is based on non-polarizing communication. This means rather than pitting groups against each other in a them and us scenario, we speak and listen from a place of curiosity because we want to understand the feelings, needs, and values underlying the person's chosen strategy. When we focus our attention on what someone did or didn't do or how they did it, immediately we focus on the differences between what they're doing and what we wish they were doing differently. Non-polarizing languages focuses less on the what and how and more on the why. When you understand why, there's more room for creating a new what and how together. And you're not limited by the fact that you may have started out with seemingly opposing strategies. This helps you see the moment you or the person you're talking with gets into a hot spot and starts to metaphorically close the door. When this happens, pause and use the methods offered in this training to see how you can slip your foot into the crack of the door and maintain an opening in gentle and effective ways. We sometimes call this the we space, the space where there's room for authentic conversation and curiosity about the underlying feelings, needs, and values. This is where true collaboration can happen because this dialogue is not focused on a fixed stance or strategy or any form of criticism. It's just an expression of our shared humanity, a solid starting place for establishing common ground. This approach also prioritizes self-care because you're often going into high-stakes conversation around polarized topics. It's important to know when you're stressed and to have ways to take care of yourself in the moment so you can stay fully present and be at your best. Stress shows up first in our bodies. Your body is your early warning system. Learning to notice and address the physical discomfort gives you time to feel into and sense and deal with hot spots before they turn into full-blown disconnects. This training and the online guide addresses 3 interconnected channels of this work. The content, research, and strategy are what we might call the head or thinking channel of awareness. Feelings and relationships are what we might call the heart or feeling channel. And the bigger compassion that needs to hold it all, compassion for ourselves, for others, and for the overall vision of healthy children and families, we call this the gut or the sensing or intuition channel. Feeling, thinking, and sensing, when brought together, bring deep understanding for navigating every type of situation. We're wired to use these 3 different types of perception all together. And when we do, our inner compass gets activated and keeps us aligned with our values and purpose. When we don't activate our inner compass by checking in with our feelings, needs, and values, we can feel stuck and get hopeless or depressed. This training offers you an awareness shield by enabling you to check in with yourself on the spot during difficult conversations and understand what you need in order to stay open, curious, and engaged. Even if some of your buttons are getting pushed, the shield enables you to know how to take care of yourself on the spot. No one can stay open and curious unless they feel safe. We're offering you the awareness shield so that you can stay connected to your own feelings, needs, and values, and notice if you start to close down, then give yourself what you need to feel safe, open, and curious again. Knowing that you can keep yourself emotionally safe builds trust in your own ability to have even the most difficult conversations. And this self-confidence will help the other people in the conversation feel calmer and safer too. Here are some key components of the awareness shield. Willingness to work through your own inner hotspots and demonstrate that you aren't holding enemy images of the other person, even when they push your buttons. Openness. Learn to stay curious and to notice when you're closing down, and how do you take care of yourself quickly and return to openness. Respect. Accept that the other person's experience is valid, and so is yours. Humility. You have something to learn from the other person if you stay open and curious. And you might learn more about yourself in the process too. Mutuality. You're invested in trying to form a trust-based working relationship with this person because some of the things you're passionate about achieving in the world require teamwork and allies. And this person shares some of your values and goals, even if some of their strategies don't seem to reflect that in the moment. Take 100% responsibility. Stay curious, open-minded, and take full responsibility to advocate for clarity and understanding on both sides of the dialogue. This doesn't mean you do all the work. You're inviting the other person to enter into an authentic conversation with you so that you can both reach a place of greater understanding and hopefully work together on something you both value. Let's look at the 3 channels of awareness that make up the awareness shield. If you watched the 30-minute overview, you've already heard about the importance of needs, values, and feelings, and of honoring your awareness skills in these areas. It's worth revisiting these descriptions often because developing fluid and adaptable ways to bring needs, values, and feelings into high-stakes conversations is the key component of using emotional intelligence for self-care and how we keep the door open and build trust during challenging interactions. Needs. There are fewer than 20 core needs that human beings share. What we all need to thrive and flourish, reach our potential, or feel fulfilled. When a core need is met, we feel some sort of happiness or relaxation. And when a core need isn't met, we feel some form of unhappiness or unease. Values. Our values are not something we're born with. They're choices we make based on our personality, our beliefs, our cultural environment, and our life circumstances and goals. Adhering to our values keeps us in integrity with ourselves. Our values can change over time, and how we prioritize them can change as well, depending on different contexts or situations. Feelings. When feelings are met or not met, we have the so-called good feelings or the bad feelings. It feels good when our needs get met, and nobody likes it when their needs don't get met. Listening with curiosity is the key. Aim to start with an open ear and listen for feelings, needs, and shared values. Shared values can be brought up as a bridge to meet on, and from there you can explore strategies that address everyone's needs. Here's a quote from our interviews about what it feels to be on the other side of a conversation and not feel that the other person is open or curious. Quote, active listening is key. Being brief is important. 2 or 3 major points. It's much more interesting to have a two-way conversation than listening to someone talk at you for 10 minutes. End of quote. Losing your curiosity is a common trip-up point. It's a sign that you've started to close down. Other common trip-up points are becoming attached to your agenda, losing the we focus, closing down emotionally, physically tightening, forgetting to notice these signs in the other person as well. The online guide gives you many tools and tips for noticing when you're getting tripped up and what to do about it. We offer you a 4-step exercise to apply these practices. 1, learn to replace blaming language with feeling words. Learn to apply that idea to statements from decision makers. Practice translating statements from decision makers into feelings, needs, and value statements, and role play to prepare for conversations. I'll walk you through the first 2 here, and we'll do the next 2 in the online training. You'll find detailed instructions and tools in the online guide to go through all 4 steps with your team or coalition. Step 1 is learning to replace blaming language with feeling words. So here's an example of blaming language. I'm dismissed when the decision maker doesn't respond to my repeated requests for meeting. And translated into feeling, I feel anxious and invisible when no one in the office responds to my requests. Another example of blaming language. You're wearing me out with the same disparaging response. Translated into feelings, I feel exhausted. And another one, blaming language. It must be disappointing for her to see how it all turned out. Into feelings, I'm feeling sad when I think of how disappointed she must be to see how it all turned out. So you might notice the difference here is you're identifying and taking responsibility for what you're feeling and separating it from what you're thinking. You're feeling sad when you think of how disappointed someone else might be. You'll find lots more detailed information about the how and the why of practicing translations like these in the online guide. Step 2 is learning to apply the approach to statements from decision makers. On the slide, you'll see a quote from someone we interviewed. We'd put them in the church and country archetype. The quote, life is not fair, life is hard. I'm bound by my faith and my obligations to my fellow man, but I don't want the government dictating a redistribution of resources. That's the basis of Marxism. That does not work. And then a possible translation. What I hear you saying is that you respect that people go through hard times and you're a man of faith and you believe that offering support is the right thing to do, but not by taking away someone else's freedom. Look at the words that are underlined. Respect is a value. Faith is a value. Loyalty, meaning the right thing to do, and in this case, loyalty to church and religion, is a value. Freedom is a need, and it's also a value. Using these skills, you'll be ready to try on step 3, practicing translating statements from decision makers into feeling, need, and value statements. And step 4, a role play to prepare for conversations. Please join us for a live workshop or join a community of practice to play with steps 1 and 2 and dive into steps 3 and 4, the application and the role play. In the meantime, watch for your own hotspots that arise in conversations. Just practice noticing what happens to you when you start shutting down. Use your feelings list to translate these hotspots into feelings. Think about what you need to feel confident and safe in this work. Jot down any questions or discussion points you'd like to bring to the live training, to a TA session, or to a discussion with your coalition. Thank you for being here.